Well, hello again, Pride fans, and welcome to another edition of the WB Mason Coach Report right here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Dan Saverny with Joe Mihalich, head coach of the Hofstra Pride men's basketball team. Well, Pride go 1-1 this past week. Home loss at versus Northeastern, and then back down on the road against Drexel, which was probably one of the better games we've seen this team play in at least a couple of weeks. Your opening thoughts on just the two games so far?
Well, let's get the Northeastern one out of the way, right? I guess we were disappointed. And by the way, I told the guys, I said, listen, here's where we are now. This is something to be proud of. We're disappointed when we don't beat the team who was picked to win the league. And that's a good thing. That's the way it should be. Because, there was a time last year when we were happy just to be close. And that's not the way it should be. And so that's a good thing. But the way we played, it was disappointing. It felt like we were kind of listless on offense. It didn't feel like we had the pep in our step. And it carried over to the defensive end of the floor. Not to take anything away from Northeastern, it's a very good team. It is arguably the best team in the league. So, but disappointing, and at the same time, it's somebody just asked me about losing to them twice. Great respect for them, but if we played them in the playoffs, we wouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, we can't beat these guys. We lost them twice. I don't think we feel that way at all.
Well, then, right after that game, you saw a couple of different crazy things, like always in this conference. William & Mary loses, Northeastern loses, and now you have a chance to tie for third place if you beat Drexel, which is what you did. You come out of the gate, trailed 7-4, and after that, it was all Hofstra after that, really. What was it about that game that you just saw the energy from the guys?
Wish I could bottle it. Wish I knew. Wish I could figure it out. I would patent it so we could all become millionaires. But I'm really proud of our team. Really, really proud of our team because, we had one of those, close the doors, fellas, talk amongst yourselves, and let's figure some of these things out because, we were a little, as I said, listless against Northeastern. And man, they came out, to a man. I mean, to a man. Everybody was locked in, everybody was focused, everybody was intense, and we played with that swag that we know we have. And it was great to see, and our guys, all contributed. We had some big games out of Musa Kone and Malik Nichols, and nobody played bad. Nobody played bad. So it was a good thing.
Let's start with Malik because he had a very good game the game prior against Northeastern where he was in double figures, and then he does the same thing last game. He ties a career high defensively. Obviously, he's showing a big presence on the floor. What has it been about Malik coming off the bench now that's been working for him?
All the credit goes to Malik and his attitude and his maturity and his acceptance of what the team needs him to do. And I'll tell you what, I almost get the chills when I think about how he's embraced this. What a leader he's been to do this. Because he's not starting now, and everybody wants to start. We get that. We get that, but only 5 guys can start. And he's, at first I think it was hard to swallow, and then all of a sudden he realized, you know what? I can really help this team coming off the bench. I can energize the team. I can get everybody going, and man, did he do that Sunday. He was, as good as Musa was, Malik might have been the guy that just really energized us.
And then on Sunday, obviously, you mentioned Musa. He has a career-high game, perfect 10 for 10 from the field. Only 1 of 6, actually, in CAA history to go 10 for 10 from the field. He only misses 1 shot, that free throw towards the end. What was it about Musa that you're seeing really starting to come together and coming out the big game?
Well, what you saw Sunday was the way he was playing before he got hurt. And, it's a big part of our challenges or problems this year was Rokas being hurt and Musa being hurt. Because it wasn't that they were away for the time that they were away, although Rock was away a long time. It was that they lost where they were. It was hard to pick up where they were. Both of them were playing so good in October, November. And that's the way he was playing in October, November. He finished everything. He was had a kind of an attitude about the way he would take shots and make shots, and it was good to see. He played like a senior that wanted to have a great finish to a senior year.
Well, that was the game that Wanya Green and Mean Tank League kind of circled on their calendar, going down to Drexel, back home in Philadelphia, all their friends and family. How did it feel to get a victory for them? You, Colin Curtin, Stephen Gorchov, and all the Philly guys here.
Well, the Gorchovs brought pretzels, so that was the biggest thing. Mrs. Gorchov brought a big box of pretzels, so that was the best part about it. But I was happy for the guys because we had a nice crowd. We had a nice little gathering. We had 150 people with blue shirts behind the Hofstra blue shirts behind the bench, and I didn't realize this, but that was the first time Wanya and me were able to play a home game or able to play a game in Philadelphia. So it was kind of neat, and I was glad everybody played well, and it made for a nice bus ride home.
Well, even though the 3 ball isn't really falling as much as it has been in the past, you're not attempting as many shots as usually are. Again, Northeastern was the fewest attempts this season, and really on Drexel, it wasn't the same thing as well, not as many shot attempts. Is that something that you need to look at and go, we need to get that open look from deep because that's where our strength is?
I think you got to take what the game gives you. And, Drexel did a good job of taking away that, and we made it clear that, you know what, go ahead and take it away, because we can score other ways too. I mean, 80 points against Drexel, that's something to be proud of. Not many people are doing that, scoring 80 points against Drexel. And I think we did it twice. So, it's, as I said, you take what the game gives you, and the drive was there, the attacking the basket was there, the post play was there, and, it's good for us to realize too, we can do it both ways.
Well, now with 4 games left on the schedule in the regular season, you're tied for 3rd place in the conference. What has it been about this conference that anybody can beat anybody, that you feel no matter what, you still have a chance of winning the regular season title?
Well, you know what, honestly, I really mean this. You said we were tied for 3rd place. I didn't even know. I didn't know. I know we're one of 6 teams that are, doing whatever we're doing, and we're not going to focus on whether we're tied for 3rd, tied for 2nd, but we're just going to play. And when it's all over, when those 4 games are over, the dust will settle, and somebody's going to tell us what place we're in, and then we'll go play whoever we're supposed to play in the playoffs, because it's going to come down to those 3 days of March.
Well, the next 2 games are against 2 teams that you did fall to, and it was during a rough patch, obviously, of this conference league. Sunday, it's William & Mary. It's going to be a tough game, which hopefully, obviously, the student body will come out and it'll be a fun game for everybody to come back to the MAC. But tomorrow, you get to go down to Towson, a team where you ended up losing to because they shot a little bit better, and like you said, their best shot is maybe the fact that they're rebounding, the fact that they're missing that shot. How do you adjust to that going into this game?
Well, it's nothing more than just deciding that you're going to want that rebound more than they do. And I really admire how they rebound. Boy, you watch them on tape, and there's 4 guys who are saying, I'm going after that ball, I'm getting that basketball. If you don't match that or exceed that attitude, mentality, approach, then it's going to be a long night. Because, as you just said, it's the best thing they do is miss a shot, because they get it back and score. So we gotta hope they miss them and then not get it back.
Well, you said that's another team that has like a hard hat. You have to put your hard hat on and go down there and try and get a victory in a place that's not very easy to play. Towson always brings in a good crowd. We saw last year, obviously, different team than what we're seeing this year. But still, how are you going to go down there, have a good start, and keep things going here and get another win?
I have no idea. We got a couple things. I'm just kidding. We got a lot of ideas. I just don't know which ones are going to work. But you can't reinvent yourself, in a couple of days or just for one team or whatever. We got to be who we are. I would just like to see the things I talked about against Drexel: the focus, the intensity, dedication to the call, the coaching stuff. Right? I'd like to see that on Wednesday night, and then the things that we try to do, whether it's on the defensive end or the offensive end, hopefully they'll work.
Well, it's Towson on Wednesday, and then it's going to be back home at the MAC on Sunday, which of course everybody hopes they'll be able to come back out to the David S. Mack Sports and Exhibition Complex for a big matchup against William & Mary. He's Joe Mihalich. I'm Dan Savarino. We'll catch you next week, Pride fans.